Hello, my name is Hakim. So I will be presenting a new product success or failure of the Nintendo Switch. So the Nintendo Switch itself is already debuted in March 2017, where especially at that time the market in the gaming industry is high competitive because Nintendo need to compete with PlayStation and an Xbox. So technically, the Nintendo company they shift toward portability and also a social gaming. So the product itself it has a main features which is a hybrid console, which is you can play it at home, but at the same time you can play it handheld. So technically, since it's an handheld, you can play it anywhere, anytime. You can bring it anywhere, so technically, the Nintendo Switch itself is a huge success because previously their product, which is Nintendo Wii U, facing a huge failure starting from the pre-launch until the customer service. So who is Nintendo target market? So primarily they target a young and also young adults starting from age 15 until 30. And other than that, they try to target on a casual and also a mobile gamers. So the secondary, they do target especially a long-time Nintendo fans, or in other word, old school Nintendo fans, and also a family. Let's say they want to spend a time weekend. So technically, this is the people Nintendo try to search. So actually, both of this, which is primarily a secondary, technically it will lead to the wide demographic appeal, which is this is the main core. This is the core strength of the Nintendo. So the product itself it satisfies three needs, which is the first one, gamers want flexibility and also power. Nintendo Switch can deliver it. And then second, Switch solve gaps between the handheld and the home consoles. Nintendo Switch can also deliver it, which is a hybrid console. So third, provides fun, convenience, and a social experience. So Nintendo Switch can also deliver it by providing an exclusive Nintendo games, having a good customer services, and so on. So now move on to the SWOT analysis. In terms of strengths, the Switch itself is built on a hybrid innovation, which is you can play it at home, but at the same time you can bring it anywhere, anytime. Other than that, it's supported by a strong exclusive game franchises like Mario and also Zelda. The opportunities Nintendo Switch include the a growing portable gaming market and also a demand for retro games. So technically, for especially for the Nintendo fans, they demand for retro games because the retro game itself it's more appeal to them, and at the same time, it's more nostalgic for them because they are a Nintendo fans. So, however, the product has weaknesses such as a lower graphic compared to a PlayStation and an Xbox. So technically, a handheld so the features for the Nintendo Switch, the handheld itself is lighter. So since it's lighter, it provides a lower spec for the hardware. So technically, the Nintendo Switch itself, it has a lower graphic, lower power compared to PlayStation and Xbox. And also, they have a Joy-Con drift issue. So let's say I have a controller, I want to move my character to the right. So I will move my Joy-Con to the right, but suddenly the character doesn't even move to the right. It can be moved to the left, move front or behind. So the threats include a rapid technology advancement from competitors, like I mentioned, like a PlayStation and Xbox, and also a piracy. So now move on to the marketing mix. So first is our product. So the product it features a hybrid design and also an exclusive Nintendo intellectual property. So I have shown the images on the right side. It shows a top 10 highest rated Nintendo Switch exclusive. So next is our price. So in when the Nintendo launch, it stated that the price will be on 299 US dollar in the USA. So technically the price itself is quite competitive compared to PlayStation and Xbox since the price is a bit cheaper. And next is a place. So Nintendo strategy is this strategy is obvious. They release the product in a global retail and also online. Like in Malaysia, it sells on Shopee, Lazada, and also Next, they provide like a Nintendo eShop, which is a digital game. So technically, Nintendo eShop where you just buy a game via digital. So the promotion, they do a bunch of social play messaging, collaborating with the influencer, and also a game launch events. So the game launch events is a quite big event for the Nintendo. It's because, like I said before, their strength is their exclusive games. So technically, when these exclusive games launch, that is where they launch it through the event. In this slide, I will discussing on how Nintendo Switch success on releasing their products. So the first, hybrid product innovation. So technically, the Nintendo itself, it has a main features which is a hybrid. I said it in the previous slides. So technically, this innovation, it can be differentiated from PlayStation and also Xbox. So this innovation also, it satisfy the customer need, which is a flexible gaming experience where you can play it on TV, you can play it handheld. This handheld you can bring it anywhere. So next is a strong marketing and also exclusive titles. So the core strength of the Nintendo, I said it before, is their iconic exclusive franchises like Mario, Zelda. In this slide, it did mention Pokemon. So technically, those three is one of the old school games. So actually, it did mention like a campaign, play anytime, anywhere with anyone. So technically, this is Nintendo want to emphasize that Nintendo is for everyone, starting from the kids, from the young adults until the older citizen. So technically, it's for everyone. So next, outstanding global sales and performance. So technically, the Nintendo Switch as of 2025, it sold around 153 million units. So technically, the product itself, it plays a top three all-time top-selling console. So this console is a high attach rate of software and also an accessories. So after go through all those slides, I have suggested three important implications. So the first, innovation is should not only focus on a high hardware specs, but how well the product fits into a customer's daily lifestyle. So second, the exclusive game franchises, it helped Nintendo to build especially a loyalty, and also it can help the customer to do a repeat purchases, which is it can increase a long-term revenue. And third, a consistent release of a new content extend the product life cycle. So meaning that the Switch it can remain relevant for many years even without a major hardware upgrades. So technically the product itself it released on 2017. Now it's 2015. It's roughly around 8 years. So technically there is a good indicator for the Nintendo company. So for the recommendation, so in my opinion, to stay competitive, Nintendo should make improvement. So especially the first one, upgrade and hardware performance. So it can attract especially for the advanced and competitive gamers. So secondly, they can enhance especially the Nintendo online service. Like example, adding like a better social features such as a voice chat, and more bundle classic games. And then finally, what I can recommend is that they can improve the user interface design to make it more convenient and smooth for especially for the user, especially in the Nintendo eShop and the system navigation. So in conclusion, Nintendo Switch has proven to be a successful marketing strategy that combine a fun play, mobility, and a strong brand identity. So technically, the hybrid concept, which is you can play at home and you can play handheld, it stand out in a crowded gaming market and recover from the failure from the previous console, which is the Nintendo Wii U. Although highly successful, there is still room for improvement, especially in online service and also the hardware performance. So that to ensure the continuous growth and customer satisfaction in the long run. So, to make it as an overall, Nintendo Switch is a great example on how a company understanding a consumer needs, which is it can be turned into a product into a global success. That's all from me. Thank you and happy gaming.